holiday times, the Christmas time is around the corner, and you all must be busy with something or the other. But you all have taken out time to come here and interact with Mr. KAVAN Solanki. That's the welcoming thing for all of us. So I welcome you all on behalf of FICCI Ladies Organization Ahmedabad chapter, our chairperson Taruna Patel, our big initiative moderators Aditi Parekh, Kiran Sevani, Purva Damani, and of course myself and my co-moderator Snehal Chambar. So a warm welcome on a winter evening to all of you. I hope you all are sitting with your cup of chai. I am here with mine. So again, a warm welcome. Yes. And good to see some lovely faces. And I would request everyone who can keep your video on so that we literally feel like during these times, seeing faces also makes you feel happy, chirpy, cheerful. And I literally feel like I'm sitting across some beautiful bunch of females and a male. So yes. So today, of course, you all are aware that we are going to talk about photography. But let me also share something about our guest of honor today. So KAVAN Solanki is a renowned name in photography. But what is there behind the name? Some of the details, let me just share. So he's the founder of Design Shoots, comes with a strong professional background, having worked in 6 renowned companies. Oh, which is big deal, huh? Mica, Claris, Lumium, Innovations, Wipro, Vodafone, and Eureka Forbes. Having 18 years of work experience and being closely associated with design and communication industry, he has acquired immense knowledge and expertise in the creative field. Indeed, his passion for photography and filmmaking and an eye to capture the right moment has helped him to develop his passion into a professional career. He aims to take his photography and filmmaking to a new high by combining the hands-on skills, his aptitude for capturing the details, and using the latest technical medium available around. So he has worked for Femina, Gujarat Tourism and Andhra Pradesh Tourism, Zoya, Reliance Brands Limited, Hyatt, Satyapal. These are some of the names, Good Earth to name a few. And list goes on, but I would now formally welcome our guest of honor, KAVAN. Please kindly come on the floor and share in detail about yourself. What are your new projects? What you are doing currently with
Sure.
our beautiful bunch of females.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. So this is Kavan, and yeah, she said so many things about it. But basically, in short, if I have to tell about myself, I'm an explorer. I love exploring, various things, which are creative, which are innovative. So I just keep on exploring things, and it's a very beautiful journey with working with other corporates. So almost 15 years of my career I work with others, like work for others. And photography, somewhere it was like a hobby for me, and lately I was lucky enough to convert it into a profession. So I never feel that I'm working. I always feel that I'm just enjoying my day-to-day life. And yeah, that's
Absolutely.
how the situation, I mean, the journey is. And
Yes, so I have been through your work on the social platforms, and which attracted me to call you over the platform because, we are a bunch of females, but I saw that we have some entrepreneurs, some home bakers, at the
Mhm.
same time, some food enthusiasts, I would say. So not just to learn to promote your own brand or, sometimes it is also important in such times, I thought that, why not to click a nicer picture of your product. If you have cooked something at home and you want to share it, it was a situation with myself. My mother was surprised to know that I can cook. So when I clicked some of the pictures, shared it with her, she is sitting in the US currently. So
Uh-huh.
it was a nice feeling, sometimes. So I thought I should be learning a better way of clicking those pictures, because even my pictures were as raw as my food, you know. So I thought, why not to call you over? So without wasting anyone's time, let us straight away, jump to our session and share about your expertise in the field.
Sure. The moment you told me about the topic of this particular meeting, so I was so excited because I've been always enjoying clicking food a lot. I work with a lot of good hotels and restaurants across India, and I always enjoy. The best part is you get to eat it after the shoot is done. So I always enjoy that.
Indeed. So that is the perk of being into photography of food industry. Yes.
Absolutely
So you have to tell us about the basics, because assume and understand that we all are very nascent in this field and we don't have any of the technical tools, so how to go about it.
correct. So this is what I mean. There are two things that I particularly focus on because I communicate with a lot of people. A lot of people ask me different things about photography, and there are a few myths about photography which I really want to like work on. See, the one thing is that there's too much of pollution, electronically pollution, which is happening. So when I say pollution, I remember this incident that one of my friend, he uploaded picture of Venice. Now, the moment you say Venice, I mean those boats, those narrow lanes, and water and small bridges, and it's always so beautiful. But
Hmm.
the way that person he had clicked those images, I could see a lot of I mean, it wasn't pleasant at all. So
Right.
that was the time that it really hit me harder that and previously, what used to happen that there were only professional who used to make films or take photograph or
बेटा
anything.
तैयार ना करो आप, कसवाने का.
But because of the latest technology now with this device, all of us we have started like creating content. So we all are content generator now. So my only request to all of you out there is that if we pay just few more seconds before we click any image, those
Hmm.
image can be enhanced.
Right.
That is
Right.
all my work of area. Whenever I meet anyone who's interested or who wants to learn it, I just and it's very simple. If I can do it, I mean anyone can do it.
Yes.
So
So,
that is
Kavan
what.
bhai, can we start with the presentation you were talking about?
Sure, sure, sure. Before that, I just wanted to relate your expertise. I mean, I understand that this is head over meals. So we all talk about food and eating and things like that. So it's very similar to it. Photography is very similar to the process of making food. Like
Acha.
you have different ingredients and there's a process. So if you understand the ingredients, if you understand the process, the end result, which is the final cooked dish, will be
Hmm.
good. So it's all about that. And it's very simple. When people talk about photography, they talk about a lot of technical stuff like, megapixels and lenses and expensive cameras and stuff like that. No, that is one part of it. That's a technical side of the photography. But the most important side of photography, which we usually, don't pay attention to, that is the aesthetics of it. And that is
Right.
actually the core of photography. And for that, all you need to do is just understand it, how people like how we can use it. It's just, a storytelling, how you narrate a good story. That's it. How consciously you are living, how consciously, like you're observing things around it. And by putting all of those things together, you can create a beautiful image. And trust me, it's very simple, right? So without wasting any more time, let me just I'll share one presentation.
Yes. So, ladies, not to feel scared, because I have been through the presentation that he has made, and it has no technical side of it. It has some beautiful images to relate to what he is going to talk and make us understand. Yes.
I believe everyone can see this now.
Yes.
Right. So yeah. The most important thing, the word composition itself. So, be it any creative field, be it music, be it making food, be it being like a painter or any creative field that we are into, the composition is basically you put all different elements in a harmony together to create a beautiful composition. So that is what we are going to talk about today. Uh, as this is me, I am a photographer, filmmaker, and mainly the explorer. I love exploring things. These are different, kind of camera phones that we have in market today that all of us know. Now, when we buy a new phone, this is exactly what we expect. Okay, everyone, when you like nowadays when you go to a store, they will first talk about the camera. Okay, આનો camera આટલો સરસ છે, આટલું
Yes,
features છે, આ છે, આ છે. And the expectations are always like, creating a masterpiece like this, right? But the moment we, start using our phone and start taking picture, this is the reality. Like most of us, we end up,
absolutely, absolutely. Yes, this is what happens.
Right. So there's a difference between the images that we see on Instagram or Pinterest or anywhere on the hoarding, and when we try to click the same images, something like this happens. So why is that? Why this thing is happening? We'll talk about it. So usually, many times what happens is that even people with a similar phone in a similar location, if they click similar, dishes, it comes out very different, and that's where it's like मेरी साड़ी उसकी साड़ी से सफेद कैसे. That is the feeling that we usually get. अच्छा ये क्यों इतना अच्छा फोटो ले सकता है और मैं क्यों, I get the same phone, the place is same, everything is same, then why is this?
I absolutely can relate to this because I always feel कि
हाँ,
हमारा pictures, the kind of pictures that I click itla, they are so raw that
yeah,
in the same location someone else is going and clicking pictures, and I was like, "Hey, I was standing right there." But still, yes. So this is what is missing, I think.
exactly. So most of us, we have gone through this many times in our life. So as I said, it's just a matter of 10 seconds. If you promise to give me 10 seconds before you click any image, I
Hmm.
think I'll be able to improve everyone's photography to a much better level, right?
Lovely.
So the first thing and the most important thing is to know your tools. When I
Hmm.
say tools, so I'm talking about the camera which we have on our phone. So what
Okay.
you can do is there are a lot of videos also available on YouTube. So if you have
Hmm.
a particular phone, you just type in the model of your phone and try to see different tricks and hacks about the phone camera, like the camera which is inbuilt in the phone. And
Okay.
there are a lot of settings, there are a lot of things which we can, we usually don't use it. There are different modes, different lenses also
Hmm.
nowadays available. So how to
Right.
use it? First of all, if you just pay 10-15 minutes and if you just understand the tool that you have in your hand, the power of it, if you know it well, you'll be able to use it to your advantage.
Right.
The biggest mistake most of us we do is we just take out phone, turn on the camera, start clicking. Well, phone is a handheld device, you know.
Hmm.
There are a lot of fingerprints and things on the lenses. So first thing, very simple thing is always to clean your lenses. Before you take any image, you need to clean the lenses. That is the first step, right? Now each phone, if you go to, like, I don't know, there will be different people using different model make over here. But if you can just go to settings of your phone, you will
Hmm.
find a thing called grid.
Okay.
There'll be an option called grid. So once you turn on that option, you will notice that you will have this grid lines, the white color lines, which is going across the screen. In
So
your
where do we find this in settings?
in
Like,
settings, you need to go to the camera settings.
okay.
And in camera settings, you'll find a thing. There'll be a button which says grid.
Hmm. 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 Okay.
The moment you turn on those grid lines, you will just have on preview, when you turn on your camera on preview, you will have this virtual lines on it.
Hmm.
You see that? So I'll just, you know, I have an iPhone. In my iPhone, I go to settings and I go to camera.
Yes, I could see this in preserve settings. There
Uh,
is this option grid, which I
Turn,
switched it on. Yes.
turn on your camera. Do you
Hmm.
see lines in the preview?
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Okay. So
Okay.
just at this moment, just turn on those lines. These are basically visual, guidelines for us. And
So
it,
we go into settings, camera settings, and we turn on the grids option. So we
correct.
can see this kind of grids when we are clicking pictures.
Right. So in your preview,
Yes,
you turn on your camera, you will have these lines in the preview itself.
right.
And how it will help us, I will show you in the next couple of slides. Right.
Huh.
That's it. I mean, that's my presentation.
Is
And
it? What is it? We just have to switch on the grid. Oh, you were kidding.
all right. Okay, let's come to the main topic, that is composition. Okay.
Huh.
So what is composition? So basically its composition refers to the arrangement of elements used. It is a way to lay out elements in your photograph that creates, better aesthetic value. And it
Okay.
helps your, as I said, that photography is just about storytelling. So just like in any story or any movie, there are center characters, there are side characters, there's a flow of it. So
Hmm.
you need to decide what exactly are you talking about. If you're talking about a food, what are the points that you want to highlight in that particular food item? Is it the texture of it? Is it the, it's so hot? Is it it's too masala wala, or it's too blend, or so these are your story, and the key ingredient becomes the point of interest in your photograph.
Right. Okay.
The main thing about composition. So how to make a good composition? There are three different things that creates a good composition. It has to have a point of interest. So point of interest is the main character, main thing about the picture. So let's see, if you are experimenting with, let's see, for an example, tomatoes, right? So
Hmm.
tomatoes like your key ingredient. It should be visible in such a way that people know that, okay, this particular thing, the center character is tomato, right?
Okay.
Then the rule of thirds, I will talk about it in just a few minutes, but it is very related to the grid line which we turned on.
Yes.
And these are terms that we use in photography, that it's a rule, but honestly speaking, in photography there's just one rule, that there are no rules.
Okay.
There are certainly guidelines, but there aren't any, rules that you have to strictly follow. If you can play around with different things, you can end up creating a lot of beautiful images. And
Right.
the most important things are the elements.
Hmm.
Now, these elements are very important. These elements actually helps you narrate the story in a proper way. So basically, if I have to, अगर मैं compare करूँ elements को with the food, तो जैसे food में ingredients जो है ना,
Hmm.
your masala, oil, pan, all those things are your elements. In
Okay.
composition, these are the elements. So if everything is placed properly, and
Hmm.
if you think about it, then only you'll be able to create a good food, good dish, right? You can't
Right.
just plus minus things. So it's all about that. Now let's talk about what are this. The first thing is the point of interest. So
Hmm.
when I say point of interest, as I said, that if I was having, let's see, this shake, but I wanted to create an image, and I want to tell my friends that I'm talking about this shake which I had, right?
Hmm.
I am definitely using other elements, like there's a concrete wall, there's a, bouquet tree behind it. All other elements are there, but my key element, my point of interest is always visible.
Hmm.
Even if someone looks at this image for 1 second, what they will remember is this glass and
Hmm.
the product which is inside. So
True.
this is the point of interest.
Okay.
Now, look at this image. I won't
Hmm.
say that this is a bad image, but there's no storytelling happening. I mean, your viewers will get confused that, where to look, kahan dekhna hai. किस चीज के बारे में बात हो रही है? Is it about people? Is it about food? Is it about, क्या चीज है?
The rustic look of the table, what it is.
Yeah, so
So you suggest we have to have one thing which is coming out of that picture highlighted.
correct. So it's
Uh,
all about your narration, your story. So as
hmm,
you said that you wanted to share image with your mom. So what was that image? What you wanted to
hmm.
tell her? You wanted to tell a particular recipe which you have made, or you wanted to show her that the entire dinner setup. So first of all, you need to decide that what is the story this image is going to talk about.
Right.
And once you know the story, how to use the elements.
Okay.
Elements are very interesting. We'll talk about it. Now, this is that rule of third. So
Okay.
normally, once you turn on the grid lines, do you see this red intersections over here, the circle?
Hmm. Huh.
So the way human eyes and brain reads information in any image is like that.
Okay.
This intersection, four places are very, important in photography.
Okay.
Whatever you put on this intersections, that will become the key element. Any human will look at this image, their first natural, way of looking at it, they will focus more on these areas. So
So
these
you mean the square in between these four circles, or you mean those
no,
four circles?
no. So normally if somebody asks you to take a picture, we have a
Hmm.
tendency of putting things in the center and we just click it. That's not the
Hmm.
right way to click it. It will not look
O-
aesthetically appealing. You need to
Okay.
put that slightly either on the left side or on the right side where this intersection.
You mean we have to put whatever is important on any of these four circles,
Correct,
no, or around that four circles,
correct,
not in the center.
correct. So where you
Okay.
want your viewers to focus more, okay, those things can come around these circles.
Okay.
Chances of noticing whatever is there within those circle around it, you don't have to particularly, just put it right there. But
Right.
even if it's around there, chances of, are that people will notice it even, in a much better way than if you put it somewhere else.
Okay.
I'll show you some example of it. So let's see if I'm clicking this female, okay? She's not right there bang on those intersection, but she's very close to it.
Hmm.
Anyone looks at the image, the first thing that they will notice is the female. Then they
Right.
notice the background and other things like that. So just like that juice, that shake which was there,
Huh.
it was on that intersection. That's the reason anyone who looks at that image, first they will look at it. So that's the main character. So we
Okay.
are telling a story. We are telling our viewers that ये story का hero जो है वो ये है. The story is
Right.
about this female.
Okay.
In food, let's see if I'm clicking a strawberry, right? So if you look at
Hmm.
this, so this strawberry is right there. Normally,
Hmm.
if I ask anyone else, or if you have to take a picture, or anybody has to take a picture, they will try and put this strawberry in the center of it.
Center. Yes.
Yeah. So that is usually not aesthetically appealing. But if you
Okay.
put it right over here on any of this intersection, depending on whether you have foreground or background, whatever is more interesting, you can put it on any of this intersection, and it will look nice.
This is so amazing because so far we have been programmed this way to
Correct.
put the main thing in the center.
Absolutely. Now, again, the similar example, you see the main, that the thing in the glass is the main product. There are certain other things like straws and, other colorful things around it. But these are like, जैसे एक film में होता है ना कि center एक
Hmm.
hero center character होता है. There are other characters also, but
Right.
supporting actors. So just like other things in this image are the supporting just to create that mood. That's the reason we have other things just to add colors, just to add depth. We
Right.
Now let's talk about elements. So जो मसाले हमारे पास available होते हैं photography में, what are these masalas? So I'll
Hmm.
read them it might sound boring at this moment, but I'll show you the examples and you guys will be able to relate to it. So there are
Right.
type of lines, textures, color, tones, speed, framing, perspective, patterns, reflections, contrast, and scale. So let's start with lines. Now, if you look at this image, lines will always help us tell a story. So it tells a human brain, you see these two lines, it's just a gap
Yes.
between food,
Yes.
but it tells your viewer, it guides the focus into the main product. So this cherry is my key element. I want to focus on that. I want my people to look at the cherry first. This
So you
line
mean
are
lines leading towards a picture? That is what you mean by lines?
correct, correct. So these are
Okay.
leading lines that will lead your viewers' attention into the main subject. So the key interest point or the subject or the main hero of
Hmm.
this image, when we wanted to create an image like this, supposing if it's the cherry, then these two lines, now these lines are always, they are around us. It's not even necessary that this line should be straight. Anything that visually guides our viewer's mind into that particular main element that we have, that can be used as a leading line. This is another example of using the lines. So in this image, if you look at it, there are different,
Chopsticks.
over there. But these chopsticks, they are telling that these are the key elements. So
Hmm.
if I have to, I mean, there are 10 things in this image, but my brain will first look at the things which are around those lines.
Right.
Then I will start noticing other things, then other, and then the least important things. So this is how you tell that, okay, this is the main character, these are the supporting characters, and these are just the fillers. So that is how we create it. The second biggest element is perspective, the way you click it. So perspective is usually we play a lot with it. So if you go down and you click it, or if you put object like this and you click it, it creates interesting, elements within your image. It tells you, it helps you in telling your story in a better way. Like this. This is another.
Hmm.
So this is how we use, and we also use it to make it look bigger, smaller, depends. So what is my story? What I really want to tell my viewer. So,
Hmm.
just slightly tilting your lenses like this. Maybe you go up or maybe you go down. By doing that, you can, create a very beautiful story. Then the texture. So texture is about emotions. So whenever you click a picture, you want to create some kind of emotions within your viewers. So let's say if it's winter, you want to make them feel, little hot. If it's, if someone is craving for something creamy, something juicy. So this texture basically it helps to trigger those emotions.
Okay.
It's always good to use textures which are smooth, because when we talk about food, we don't want anything that hurts. So very harsh textures and everything, it is not necessary. I mean, it's we should avoid using those kind of textures which are very hard to, gives a very hard feeling. Like let's see if there's a picture of a throne, or a barbed wire or something like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
That will not create a good feeling to the person who's looking at it. But let's say if I'm working on a story as a journalist and I want to show that, okay, I want to create discomfort in my viewer, that time I will use those harsh textures so that people can relate to it, that how difficult the life is. So
Right.
when we talk about food, we always try and use something which is very smooth, very, which has got a very nice feel, which has got, like by looking at this, I mean, you see that, okay, this is some kind of a sweet, you see those
Hmm.
on the balls and everything. So this is what I mean when I say texture. So whenever you are in a restaurant or whenever you are cooking or whenever you have created some dish, you can always find different things that can help create that emotion, that what you want your people to feel. Then the patterns are basically An object which is in continuation, I mean, it's in repetition. So this is more about repetition. So let's say if you have a, if you have created something which is in bulk, but you put them together in such a way that it creates a very beautiful pattern, that can also, make your viewer feel much better about it. Just like this coffee beans, you feel that, I mean, you really want to have that coffee.
Yes.
And the colors, this is very important when you talk about like food photography. The colors plays a very big role, because I believe that most of you might have, done the wine testing and everything. So every time before you even have your first sip of wine, it's always you are mentally preparing yourself. You are mentally, telling yourself that this is what I'm going to have. So
Hmm.
look at such visuals. You are, mentally preparing your people, your audience, that they are going to eat something, which is really good. So that's how it generates the taste buds. It activates your mouth to, actually enjoy that food. So colors are always a very powerful tool when we want to, kind of prepare our people, like anyone who's going to have our food. If we have to prepare them, okay, okay, this is the kind of feel that you are going to get. We use them. Now reflections. When you are working in kitchen or in restaurant or anywhere, there are a lot of reflective surfaces. So if
Right.
you place your food in such a way that you are getting, just pay attention to it. These all things are around you. But when you try to click, you are simply just thinking about that one particular subject. No, there are things around you. If you just look at the reflection that it is making, it can create a very beautiful shape and, image, just like this.
Amazing.
And
Yes.
this is also very important. This is tone. So let's see, if you want to make other people feel warm about it, so I'll be
Hmm.
using something warm colors, a color which is like it's good in winters. So now if I show the same image in summertime, most of the people like in India, like especially in Ahmedabad, Jivamato, they'll be like, no man, this is not pleasant. Even though the
Hmm.
picture is the same. But if you
Hmm.
look at the same image during the winter time, you'll be like, no, because you know that red is a hot color and you want to have it. Now these are tones, these are different things, but the color tone is very similar. Everything is towards the red side.
So, meaning you mean to say tones, the same color, but different shades of the colors to
Same
use.
color, yeah, but different tones.
Okay.
So paying attention to color wheel is also one of the very, important thing, and that's where how conscious you are about things around you comes in place. So there are a lot of color theories. There are complementary colors, there are opposite colors, there are contrasting colors. So if you know that what goes or what creates a contrast between two colors, you can play with it and you can create a very beautiful image with that. Now this is again contrast. So contrast can be of many things. Any two things which are of absolutely, opposite sides. So here I'm playing with the light. So it's a very harsh light and there's a very super duper contrast between the highlight and the shadows. So the dark area and the bright area, that is what I mean. Similarly, you can play with hot and cold. You can play with big and small. There are a lot of contrasting colors also you can play with. So anything, if you create, if you put them together, two contrasting thing together, that will give your viewer a very, beautiful experience. These are colors and even the taste. I mean, if you look at it, maybe something is super sweet and something is really khatta meetha type say, right? So that also, kind of creates those kind of images in your viewer's head. Now speed we use it when we want to show things in motion. So either we freeze the frame, like in this, the masalas are, coming on top of it, or the next image is like when we want to make it a very dreamy image, that okay, it is flowing, even though it's a still image, but it feels like, it's still pouring type. So that is the speed that we can play with. Most of the cameras, like mobile phone cameras, there are third party apps that lets you play with the speed. So that is completely on your own interest. If at all somebody wants to, experiment with those technicalities, they can get in touch with me, and I can definitely share my, list, and I can show them how to do this. Then the scale. Now, scale is very important in food photography. Now, for an example, if you have made a pizza and it's a huge pizza, okay, you have made this big, which is a very good thing. But if you just take the picture of that pizza, people will not know that if it's this big, or this big, you know. So just like this is an orange slice. If we have placed two people over there, and it looks like it's in, the whole pool of orange. So that is where you need to have an element, something which most of your viewer know, and people can compare it with your image. So if you have some element in your image which represents scale, it will be very easy for your viewers to compare it with it. Just like in this image. So if I just only put the ball, I don't know, especially let's see if you are a restaurant owner, okay, and there are many times people want to, order food and they are not sure, okay, ये एक के लिए होगा, दो के लिए होगा. But if you place something like fork has a universal size. I mean, nobody will have this big fork, right?
Hmm.
People know that, okay, what is the quantity I'm going to get? So should I order for one? Should I order for two portion? Like that. So in visually also, if you want to show that this is, tummy filler, it is more than enough. If you put something, some element which is a very common element with it, that tells your viewer that, okay, this is sufficient for me. Like that. So that's where we use scale. Now, as you want to narrow down the attention of your viewer, we do the framing. So you see there are so many things in this image, but because of that white frame which is there, my
Of the
viewer
wall.
focus on these things, that this is
Hmm.
my main character, this is my hero, and this all things are just, the side supporting, playing the supporting role of it. Similarly, the here we have done it with this, and I think that's it. And feel free to follow me, contact me, whatever. I'm always available. I love talking, I love exploring, meeting new people. And if it's about photography, I'm always, this is something very close to me, and I'll be available anytime you say.
Absolutely stunning, Kavan bhai, because those were very basic, very minute things which you have touched upon and which we are aware of, but so far, we knew but we were not aware of. I would rather place it this way, that we
Correct.
knew, that maybe a, say, a pumpkin soup placed in a bowl, the picture looks amazing, but maybe it is doing the framing work, frame inside the frame which you just shared about. So,
Correct.
absolutely crisp and still very informative it was. Now, I will open the floor to our members. I
Sure.
would want if they have anything to ask to you personally.
Sure. So it's about that only, Ratna. Basically, it's about living consciously. You are conscious about things around you.
Yes,
So, and it's the most important thing in everything. Like in basically in photography is the light. Light plays a very big role. Now, most of them they are cooking at home. So what I can suggest is we all have windows which gives us very good light through daylight. I always prefer shooting with natural light. Only if it's not possible, then only I use artificial lights. I have used so many different kind of lights, but trust me, nothing can replace natural light that we get. Now, if the lights are very harsh, you are not going to, create a good image. So you have to make sure that the light is always soft. How do you do that? Just with a white plain, transparent piece of cloth, if you put it on your window, that will give you a very soft light. Put your whatever you have created near to that window, bring it over there. Normally what we do is a lot of people use flashlights, camera flashlights. Never ever use camera flash. It will,
Oh, is it?
yeah, it will never give you a good image. That image will not look. You can use flashlights only if you have to document something. Okay, but if you are thinking that by using the camera flash, you'll be able to create a stunning image, that is not going to work, because that light is always straight on. The best light which I personally like about food photography, that is from the angle. So if my light is coming from this side, one side of it, even if you look most of the images, the light is coming from one side. You see that the key light is always from one side. So that's what looks really appealing. So never ever try to put a light with a straight on. That will make everything so flat. Like if I shoot this ball, similarly like the ball which are here, you see that there's no depth in the ball. Here you see that it looks, because of the shadow, it's like it's elevating, you know. So those kind of drama you will never ever get if you put a straight on lights. You should always put light from sides. That
Right.
works well. And let's see, just like in this image, it's getting too dark, okay, on the left hand side where the shadow area is. What you can do is you can just, maybe a thermocol sheet like this, okay. So let's see, for example, if I'm getting a good light over here, this side it is
Hmm.
little, if I just put it over here, you know,
Can you, Kavan, can you just close this window sharing? Then we can see your
sure,
picture.
sure. Yeah,
Yes. Now we can pin you, so we'll be able to see it better.
right. So it's about light. I mean, if you pay attention on my face,
Hmm.
I'm getting light source is on my right hand side, so I'm getting a proper light from here, and I'm getting little shadows over here. So if I have to compensate it, anything which is white, maybe a paper, I have this thermocol sheet. If I
Hmm.
just simply put this thermocol sheet over here, you can see that it is compensating the light, right? There are still some shadow, but those shadows are not like the one that gives you a discomfort. So by doing
Okay.
little tricks, even if you can, you have a white paper, if you feel
Hmm.
that the shadows are getting too dark, you can just place a white paper on the shadow side. Basically all you are doing is just, this is your key light, there's a paper and you are reflecting it. So that's
Right.
how you can create, like if you think that it's too dark for you, you can create a good amount of light over there.
Yes. So these were some basic and amazing tricks of trade that you have shared with us. So our member Nimrat, please, the floor is open to you. You had a question for Kavan.
Sorry. Yeah, hi, Kavan.
Hi.
You shared something really interesting, the three-fourth, one-third rule that we use in photography. So,
Hi.
does iPhone have any other features where we can really enhance photography using one?
Yeah, iPhone has got tons of features.
Anything you'd like to say which we could use?
Yeah, the most important thing is the focus. I don't know if everybody knows it or not, but by touching the subject, I mean, wherever you want to, in your preview, it
Yeah.
focuses right there.
It brightens that part, it highlights that.
Another thing, one is the focus, that square
Yeah.
is the focus, and on the right hand side of the square, you will see the plus and minus bar. There's a line.
Ah,
That is
okay.
basically your exposure. So if you are getting, if you feel that overall image is getting too dark, you can just put
Mm-hmm.
your finger there and drag it up, it will brighten it. Bring it down, it will darken it. So
Okay.
to get the right exposure,
Okay. Okay.
tricks.
So before clicking the picture, that's what you need to do then. Just tap
Correct.
on that.
Correct.
Okay.
That
Okay.
will focus and that will give you exposure. Now, let's see, when I talk about exposure, there are
Hmm.
things in a frame that is too bright. There are
Hmm. Hmm.
things in the frame which is too dark. So what is the right exposure? So right exposure is mainly about your key element. So let's see if your subject is some fruit. Okay, if anything behind it or below it or on the other side, if it's getting too dark or too bright, it's okay.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
main subject
correct.
getting blown away like too bright, or if it's too dark,
True.
then it does not make any sense. So what you
Right, right.
just do the preview and put on that preview, put your finger on your subject. So the camera
Mm-hmm.
knows that okay, this is the main subject.
Okay, okay. So sometimes it happens that everything is not bright enough. It's a restaurant you're taking a picture at.
Right.
And I think this feature would be quite helpful there because light तो और कहाँ से आ नहीं रही, natural light तो है नहीं. It's
Yes.
all okay.
Ambient light.
That's yeah, okay,
So that is how
Yes.
you
So
okay.
sorry.
Great.
Go on.
Yeah, thanks. And anything else? Any other feature you'd like to say? We're just getting the best out of you right now.
most of the cameras they have different lenses, so you can explore with wide lenses or even zoom lenses. Then a lot of cameras now they all have portrait modes. So basically,
Yeah, yeah.
is playing with the depth. So something which is very clear, okay,
Mm,
that is your key element. And anything which is maybe in the background or in the foreground, it will blur it.
mm,
So
mm,
that
mm.
also helps you tell a story. Just like the first image which was there, that shake. My
Yeah.
background was blurry. It was a tree over there, some kind of plant which was there, but it was completely blurry. So people will not even.
Oh. So it wasn't the post production. Are these pictures on your camera or were they on your mobile?
No, so mobile, many of them they have started like coming up with the portrait mode. That is what they call.
Yeah. Right.
This portrait mode is basically it is not the natural lens which is making it look like it gives a depth. It's a
Mm-hmm.
by processing it within the phone, it processes your image in such a way that it decides that okay, if there's a person, the person is the key element in the.
Yeah. Right. That becomes a figure and the other part becomes a ground.
Correct. So
Okay.
it
Okay.
reads it that okay, this person is the main subject. So
Right.
human faces, you will not have any problem. But when you click objects, you need
Mm-hmm.
to, just by touching it, you need to tell
Mm-hmm.
your camera that okay, this is my key element. Don't blur.
Right. I
Okay.
think I'm going to try these features at home first to see how it works. And Kavan, another question, that grid thing which we activate, we keep it activated. So when we are taking the picture, we keep following that to 1/3 rule. Are you
Yes.
saying that? Okay.
That also helps even while you are on vacation and you are clicking.
Yes, absolutely. We do it on our cameras. We keep doing it, but we don't do it on our iPhones at
Yeah,
1/3.
yeah.
Yeah,
That also
great.
helps straighten your camera. So let's say if the
Yes.
horizon is like this, and if you click picture like this, it will not give a good feeling.
Oh, yes. Of course, of course.
This is my horizon. Okay. Even if you are clicking a building, those lines will help you to straighten that building.
Yes. I tend to, tilt it. So that's a great one for me. Thank you so much, Kavan. Thanks. Yeah.
Yes. So next we have Bela Shah. Bela.
So, the question was, every time we do a food photography, we have to rent a light from outside. So, is it necessary that we have to do it even for the iPhone 12? Or is it sufficient enough that it has a flash and we can do the photography from there? And the other question is that we have to buy backdrops every time we do a photography for it to look very attractive.
Uh, Ma'am, that's first thing is that I'll answer the first thing. I am not a person who is really famous for using, artificial light. So I will never ever recommend you buying or putting on artificial light. I would always prefer using a natural light source. I think even in your house, I can see there's a nice natural light which is, falling. What you can do is you can have a small table which is right next to your window. And on your window, if you feel that it's too bright, what you can do is you can take a white piece of cloth which is semi-transparent. that will diffuse the light. That means you'll be able to control the light. Even if still it's too bright, do the double layer of that cloth. Get a soft light, and it is coming from the side. You place your table over here. Let's see, your window is here. You place your table over here and place your food items over here, and then you can. About backdrops, ma'am, there are so many things. It's, as I said, that it's all about being conscious. So even in your house, if you just pay attention, you will find so many beautiful things. Maybe an old piece of cloth, or jute material, maybe something, some good soft toils. These are so many things that we can use it as a backdrop. So it's not necessary that we spend money on buying a professional backdrop.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, so next we have Shilpa Patel.
Hi, thank you so much for the wonderful tips that you're giving, Kavan.
Pleasure, sir.
And I wanted to know more about how to use or any tips about time lapse and slow-mo.
Okay.
My children often use that and I am really lost. So I want to keep up with them.
Right. So when we talk about time lapse, we use it in films to
Right.
show the amount of time that, let's say, if my story is like, it's been 2 days now, or it's been a couple of years. So we
Yeah.
use those kind of shots wherein the sun is coming and setting.
Right.
So what is basically a film? Film is usually works with a frame rate.
Right.
Whatever we see is usually there are 24 images, still images in 1 second. That is 24 FPS, we call it. And
Okay.
that's how we feel that it's moving.
Right.
So if you tell your camera, if you put your camera in a place, and if you, let's see, want to capture the amount of time which is passed. So let's say if it's 2 hours, you can tell your camera that every 10 seconds, it will create one image. That will take
Okay.
and that
Uh-huh.
really shows that the time has passed.
Right.
Always looks good when it's about to sunrise, or if it's about to sunset.
Right.
In those time we use that. So when
Okay.
you have to cover a very big amount of time, but if
Uh-huh.
you want to continuously, I mean, you are not going to watch that film for, let's say, for 2 hours. If you were sitting on a nice
Yeah.
restaurant, okay, nobody is going to watch that entire film for 2 hours. You can't record that. Your phone will also not have that much memory that it can record up to 2 hours.
Agree.
So in those time, you can place your phone to some place, put it on a time lapse. So that tells, you'll be able to tell your friends or viewers that, okay, we had gone to this restaurant and it's best for its sunset.
Right.
When you show that, it will show that sunset to them. Now, slow-mo is exactly opposite to it.
Yeah.
So slow-mo is just like I showed you the sprinkle, right? That was,
Yeah.
if you want to create a video, a short film, wherein you want to tell your viewer that it's nicely, you are sprinkling something.
Yeah.
You want to make that particular moment very slow, or if you want to show that someone is just taking a bite of your whatever you have made in your ad film.
Yeah.
So it's taking a bite is like a second. Okay.
Yeah.
When you do it from slow mo, so it's like the person's expression and everything feels very dreamy.
Yeah. The crunch and everything, the way it breaks, and yes. Yeah. I got it.
A lot of time we put the ingredients also, we just kind of when they fall,
Yeah.
sort of splash of water and things like that. So,
It's wonderful. Thank you so much.
pleasure.
Hi, Ratna.
Yes, hi.
Hi, if I can come in. Hi,
Yes, please.
Mr. Solanki, KAVAN Solanki. How
So,
are you?
KAVAN, first of all, let me introduce. She's our chairperson, Taruna Patel. So, please, Taruna ji, the floor is for you.
Sure. So, first of all, I'm sorry I could not be visible for most part of it, but I was listening to you and working on something else at the same time. And one little secret I can let you know is that my husband and my daughter is a graduate in graphic design as well as photography. Awesome. And my husband is a keen photographer. I'm a dodo, but I do a lot of photographs with my phones and the small cameras before that. And I do have some beautiful pictures of Mount Kailash when I used to go with my small instant whatever point and shoot cameras. So yeah, I don't know much about or anything at all about photography, but I can tell you that I do need tips as well as some good photographer in my life, because I do for food, because I do work with a lot of foods, as you probably will come to know if we keep in touch, because with Madhuban Resort as our latest addition to our businesses, we have a varieties of food, of course, and I'm also creating a lot of new recipes and things like that. But I'm always very disappointed with the kind of photography our in-house photographer does. And we've had professional food photographers to do, for the marketing part. But your subject is very interesting, as it is, you do that with your phone camera. And what I wanted to ask you is that if you're from Ahmedabad, would you be able to come to Madhuban one of these days when it's safe and actually hold a class, like a live class, where maybe some of our members will also be present, and the foods that you click, actual foods, and it's like more like a camp, a day camp of photographing the best of foods, and then of course feasting on it also. So that was the only thing I wanted to ask you for. As you know, like even when we go now, anywhere you go and you see a nice dish that comes on your table, the first thing is you take out your camera and take a picture. Everybody wants to show off what they're eating and how beautiful it looks. Sometimes it doesn't matter how it tastes, but how beautiful it looks. So exactly that, to do that also, I think if we have some nice pointers, the live pointers, and then we take those photographs and we share those pictures, I think it would be nice. So that's what I wanted to ask you, if you'd be kind enough.
Yeah, that'll be my pleasure. And yes, I also get to every month there are a lot of people who are asking me what camera to buy, and they want to invest in a SLR and this and that, and I always tell them that nowadays the phone cameras are really nice.
Yes,
it's just about you need to learn how to use it. So unless
I use a Samsung from day one, ever since I can remember, and I think Samsung takes the best photographs. My husband is a keen photographer. I mean, he has loads of all the equipments, attachments, your lenses and covers and things like that. But when he sees my Samsung photographs sometimes, and even the Samsung what do you call the notepad? I had notepad. That took beautiful pictures. Sometimes it's just point and shoot, but they come out beautiful. So
that's what I think maybe you missed it, but that's what I started when I started this conversation. I said there are two sides of photography. One is the technical side of it. The other is the aesthetics of it.
Yes.
So pay attention to your aesthetics. I think technicalities can be, taken care of. Right. It's always about that. Let's see in photography, if somebody, with breaking all the laws, if somebody had clicked when Gandhiji was shot, nobody is going to look at that image, that how beautifully, whether it is right, wrong. Nobody. It is just about that moment.
Yes. So capturing the moment with your instant cameras, the phone cameras.
So I think it's a secondary thing for me. The main thing is the aesthetics and the message that you want to convey.
Yeah, and even the small videos are beautiful by this camera. Because I do a lot of all my recording. I save it. I take pictures. I take beautiful photographs of things happening. Like even in the house, you just capture the moment. But my daughter doesn't allow me to post most of the things because she says, no, it has to be this way, that way. And I am not bothered, like you said, it's a moment, people look at it for the moment, enjoy it, and you forget about it. This is not for your collection.
Right.
But we would still like some beautiful photographs of the foods we create over here. And, again, bringing the subject, just 4 or 5 days ago, we opened at Madhuban Food Galleria. It's called Madhuban Food Galleria. And, instantly I created designs with my design guy and took the pictures and we posted it. And she says, Mom, what have you done? You can't do it like this. I said, okay, you do it. And she came up, for the signage. It's not photography, but she's a creative and designs also. And I'm telling you, it's beautiful what she has done. But I don't have the time. What I told her, I want to make an announcement. It's opening on the 16th. People got the message, they came. Okay. But yeah, aesthetically, it looks beautifully what she's done. So we'll take those lessons from you. And Ratna, you can definitely, create a crowd for him. And I think Madhuban would be a good place before March. We can have that. So the weather is nice. We can do outdoor food photography. We can do indoor food photography and, create an event out of it.
Absolutely. Whenever it is convenient with the venue, and then I'll coordinate with KAVAN, and we can have some amazing, say maybe not just food, but photography learning, where food could be one of the aspect. And then because the venue itself, KAVAN, if you have visited, Madhuban is a beautiful place. I had clicked some amazing pictures from my phone, so I can assure you, you will have plenty of, occasions and places to click some wonderful pictures.
So are you based in Ahmedabad? Are you based
I'm based in Ahmedabad and I do different kind of photography. So food is one part of it. I'm mainly into product. I'm into fashion, architectural, and interiors. Portrait also I'm doing. So I'm coming up with a product nowadays.
Okay.
I've been receiving a lot of requests from people that, when we do a portfolio for modeling, so that is a different thing.
Altogether,
But
yeah.
there are a lot of people who are available, like they really want to get themselves clicked just for their own, satisfaction or for their own use or, putting it on a social media. So I'm trying to bring down the cost and make it more affordable for, ordinary people to, get their portfolios done. Second thing I'm focusing on is the professional portraits.
Okay.
So majority time people just pick up any pictures from the Facebook or, some wedding,
Yes. Yeah.
right? But let's see. So I'm talking about a LinkedIn picture, not the Facebook and Insta picture.
Okay. Okay. Sure. And you can always choose Madhuban as a location shoot.
It is in
spot.
my list.
Yeah, we have it's a huge property and it's really beautiful. But even other than Madhuban, I think this side of Gujarat, the part of Gujarat, Charotar, as we call it, is the green belt of Gujarat. So for photography, a lot of people come to these areas.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ratna, for bringing KAVAN onto our platform, and I'm sure a lot of women benefited. And yeah, it'll be on Zoom, so a lot of people will catch up with you even later on. So thank you for coming. Yeah, appreciate it.
Absolutely, our pleasure, Taruna ji. And also, you have been the inspiration for all of us and being such a support that we are able to, carry on with such amazing events in your tenure. So thank you so much for being there with all of us. Yes, KAVAN. So on behalf of, I think, ladies, are we all sorted with the questions? Maybe yes. So KAVAN, on behalf of Taruna ji, she's the chairperson, and the entire committee and our big team, Head Over Meals team, I really, from bottom of our heart, we thank you, because it takes really huge effort for a professional to come out and share their trade secrets. Generally, I've not seen people coming out and being so generous and sharing tricks of trades with everyone. But you have been really amazing on that platform. And on that note, of course, we are, as Tarunaji has shared, we are going to call you again one of the physical event where you can actually come in and click some pictures and show us, and then you will have all the females bombarded with this dish, how to click, and show, look at my picture. So that is going to be an amazing sight for me as well. So maybe at one of say our events at Madhuban, I would love to call you and we'll coordinate, and we would look
More
forward
like
to
a
having
party. Yeah. More like a party than.
Very my pleasure. Yeah.
And then maybe we can have the best photographer award also. So, yeah.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
one can be the judge, of that.
Yes, yes.
You can bring your daughter for that.
Yeah, sure. I'll ask her to join us.
So thank you so much, ladies, for being there because of the holiday time, festival time. I know you all wanted to, break through from your houses and travel, but still you all could be here with us and learn the, knickknacks of photography, especially from phone photography, because I always thought, learning photography, then owning those cameras and lenses and tripods, and then I don't know if I'll travel with all those things if I'm not an avid photographer. But the kind of that you have taught, like the grid was such a basic thing. So even I knew the focus thing that you had shared, but I did not know that we can also, with the focus, we can, adjust the light. So those are some of the basics that you have shown, and I really appreciate you being here with us today. And thank you so much, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Ratna. Thank you, Kavan.
Thank you.
Back in college.
Madhu. Bye everyone. Catch you on the group.
हाँ,
See you
सबसे
soon.
basic था, उसका सबसे basic था.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.